So for me, like reflecting on the year, there's a lot that I feel like I could have done better. And one of the main things is because I separated from Winner's Edge from Dr. Tori, one thing that he always had us do was write our stats. And we had our best sheet and we had our stats. And eh, there's a certain power that comes from having to show your stats to your mentor. And I miss that. Yes, I feel like I outgrew that group. But I do miss giving him my stats and him shitting on them. That's literally what he would do. It's not like a little pat on the back, like him telling me that you ain't shit, basically. You could be doing so much better. You're failing. You're this, but it would motivate me. And to show him my stats, I wanted to prove myself to him. It was almost like, that father figure that never gave you the approval. So I always wanted to prove myself to him. And I would look at my stats and I was striving to improve, striving to get better. And I miss that because I don't have that anymore. I don't have somebody that I'm turning my stats over to, and somebody that I'm trying to win their praise, win their approval. So that's something that I definitely miss, and I wish that I had. I also wish that I was doing better with the stats because now that I don't have somebody looking at it, I've fallen behind on my stats. Like I don't keep up with my best sheet anymore because there's nobody that's going to look at that. Like I look at the important numbers. So I've cut out so much of my stat sheet just to focus on what I consider the important numbers. But I think that all the numbers on that list were important. Like you got to understand, this guy has 20 plus years of experience. A lot of times we like to think we know so much, but there's certain knowledge that only comes from years of doing things. So yes, I'm successful, but I haven't been in the game 20 years. So I have to rely on people who have for that knowledge. So I wish I still had that. I wish that I still had that accountability. Like even with Andy doesn't know my business. Like he's a great mentor for me as a man, as a husband, as a father, for my physical fitness, for my financial goals. But he has no understanding of what I do in this office. He doesn't know what chiropractic is. He doesn't know what decompression is. So when he goes and gives me advice, a lot of the stuff doesn't translate quite clearly. Like even with scripting, like I worked with Jacob Hagerman, which was one of his coaches. Jacob didn't truly understand the business until he came and shadowed the office. Then he shadowed the office and had a better understanding. And that's really what it would take. Like that's why I want to start offering for me to come out to the people that I coach and come out to their office. That's why I think it's so important for people to come and shadow my office, because a lot of times you hear me talk and you don't have a clear understanding because you haven't been in the middle of practice. Like while the office is open, and there's 100 plus people walking around, like what the flow looks like, what the handoffs look like, how you can manage this many people without chaos, how everything works so efficiently, how people don't have to wait. Like we really don't have a wait, and we'll see 200 plus people and there's literally no wait. Is it because we have 9 decompression machines? Maybe. But like this is the only thing that you get from being in the office. Like if I talk to you about care plans were something that were created in the 80s and 90s. You don't have an understanding of what a care plan is unless you were in this office and you saw what the care plan does. I learned care plans from Dr. Tori, who was practicing back in the 90s. So I took a lot of information from different places and created systems that work best for this office. And you won't understand how I lead unless you were in this office. Like the quarterback in this office, like remember, I consider myself the leader, and I think that there can only be one leader. But once the shift starts, I take a back seat to CA1. CA1 now steps into the quarterback role and calls the plays in this office. Something you wouldn't know unless you were actively in the office. I do not call the shots during shift. I call the shots before shift. I call the shots after shift. That's why we have a pre-shift huddle and we have a post-shift huddle. Do you know what that is? Do you know what topics are discussed during the pre-shift and the post-shift? Do you have that on a daily basis? Like, these are all things that you need to know. Like your affirmation sheet. I have an affirmation sheet. And I got that from Dr. Tori. If you go into my back office, you see from the ceiling down all the affirmations we've been able to manifest within the office. And we say this in unison as a team so that we're working all towards the same goal. So another thing that I've noticed that I miss, again, from Dr. Tori's group is the community. I feel as if sometimes I'm on an island. Like nobody else really understands what I'm going through. And I don't have that community, that ability to stay in touch. That's why I'm trying to create my own community. You know, like that's why coaching is so important to me. That's why I want so many people to succeed, and that's why I put so much into this. Like I realistically don't have the time to coach. This is taking away time from my family, it's taking away time from my practice. But I feel such a strong calling to help other people, help other doctors that are in this, that I'm willing to sacrifice that time to be able to pour into other people that need it. Because I know that I have so much knowledge that I can share that would allow people to double or even triple their practice in months. Like, I've paid so much money for guidance. I've read so many books, that I've gone to so many seminars that have nothing to do with chiropractic, and I've just had this like crazy ability to translate any business to chiropractic. And I've taken all this knowledge and consolidated it and made it so digestible that I can just give it to you. Like I just have this crazy ability to understand business on a whole different level. And it's a blessing, you know, like I've been given a gift. But one thing that I lack is that sense of community. Like, and I want to build that community and be able to share this with everyone that's in this coaching group.